So about 4 years ago, I posted a video called 9 Years of Drum Progress. Now that video was in early 2014 and we're in 2018, so I'm hoping that I've improved enough over the last 4 years to justify an update. Now throughout this video, I'm going to pop in and out and try and offer some insight about what was going on over the years. I can't really remember every specific thing that was happening over the past 13 years, but there were a number of events that had big impacts on my playing, so I'll try to explain those as they happen. We'll get started in early 2005. I had been playing at that time for about 3 years, but no lessons, no training of any kind, just a 9th grader listening to Linkin Park and Blink-182, 100% by ear. Pretty rough in the early years. I have no idea why I had this crazy willingness to just play random notes as fast as I could around the kit, and I don't think that was very helpful because that was a habit that took me a long time to break. But around 2006 was my first year of jazz band in early high school, and I started meeting a lot of other musicians, and I played in my first band. I still wasn't playing to a click, and I hadn't taken any lessons at all, but I think this phase of drumming taught me that being a good musician is about being a team player. So over the next year or two, I logged a ton of hours jamming with friends in basements and garages. In 2008, I moved to Florida for college, and I didn't play drums for nearly the next 2 years. Now, you'll still see a little bit of improvement over these next clips from 2008, 9, and 10, and I credit a lot of that to just listening to new music. I listened to a ton of music in college, and I think that phase definitely helped me expand some musical ideas. After college, sometime in 2010, I joined a pop band, which is where I got a huge majority of my gigging experience. Between 2010 and 11, I played well over 200 shows with this band, and I remember practicing to a click more than I ever had before. Playing live put an appropriate amount of pressure on me as a player, and this band is where I really learned how to stop overplaying and cater to the music itself.
Sky's the limit. What you wanna do? That's cool. I'm gonna go out too. My homie Greg's bartending downtown. He makes the strongest drinks around. Gorgeous. I think you want a shot to eat. We gon' party all night. No sleep till the owner them is on my guys. So tonight everything is on me. The drinks is on me. The ladies, the whoa. We're sitting down here on the ocean floor. Listen to me, baby. There's so much more. So much for you to see.
Yeah, that band didn't go anywhere. Once I parted ways with them, I started teaching part-time. But looking back, I'm really not sure why I had the balls to charge money for lessons. Now, given at the time I was mostly teaching younger kids, and I do remember that there was a big benefit in forcing myself to explain other concepts to people. Now, if you're a young drummer, I'm not telling you to go start a teaching business right away. But in my experience, teaching made me realize that I couldn't bullshit anymore. I either knew what I was talking about or I didn't. So this was an era where I started getting much more honest with myself about what I actually understood about my instrument. Towards the end of 2012, I bought my DW kit, and I just wanted to mention that this actually had a huge impact on my motivation to practice. I had never spent that much money on any piece of gear before, and I remember feeling like I had to justify that purchase by just getting better. And it was around this time that I started creating my first YouTube drum lessons as well. In 2013, I joined a band called Stockholm, and we wrote a 5-song EP called Emerald City. And while this project didn't last very long, there was a huge step up in professionalism with this project. We played shows to backing tracks, so there was a lot more risk involved in the live set, and we played to some pretty big crowds at local shows and some larger Florida music festivals. Fun fact, that band is actually how I met Joe Hodgen, who has mixed all the drums that you hear on this channel and produced over 150 practice loops on OrlandoDrummer.com. So through the end of 2013 into 2014, I moved into a phase where I just played a lot. I don't really remember studying things necessarily, but I was logging a lot of hours behind the kit and focusing heavily on creating YouTube content. I do remember specifically that spending more time behind the camera definitely helped me become more self-aware with my playing, which is why I recommend that everyone record themselves, even if you never post it anywhere. So I don't know about you, but for me, the craziest improvement was actually then, 2013 into 2014. Watching those clips, I can see that I started gaining confidence in my decisions behind the kit. Really, I stopped jumping from one idea to another and finally started exercising some self-control in my playing, which I think led to some much more cohesive ideas. As you watch these next clips from 2015 and 2016, notice that I tend to commit to themes a little bit more. To me, this was one of the more notable changes in my playing that helped me get out of that intermediate territory. Now, it's really hard for me to comment on more recent clips because it's just too fresh, so I'm gonna let these clips roll from 2015 all the way up until present day. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I know it was a long one. Truth be told, I have a pretty terrible memory, so it's tough for me to recall every detail about what I was learning in which clip and what that did for my playing. But if there's one thing that I can say that's made the biggest impact on my playing over the last 15 or 16 years that I've actually been playing drums, it would be having a full understanding of the grid of subdivisions. Every substantial breakthrough that I can remember having early on was because I had the willingness to explore in a subdivision that was totally new to me. And I found over the years that if you can internalize the rhythmic scale, you can learn just about anything, as long as you have the patience and the motivation to work it out. Thanks for watching, guys. Adam here, the Orlando Drummer, and I will see you in the next one. Later.